Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are taking a whirlwind tour of the Indian subcontinent. We're talking about a land of truly incredible physical contrasts, from the highest mountains on Earth to massive fertile plains and ancient rocky plateaus. So, here's the plan. We're going to start with the icy peaks up north, then travel down through the country's breadbasket, cut across its ancient heartland, and finally, we'll explore the coasts, deserts, and islands that make this landscape so unique. Let's get into it.
Okay, first things first, let's get the big picture. You have to think about India not just as a country, but as this enormous, geologically vibrant landmass, just jam-packed with an amazing variety of physical features. And this map just shows you everything, doesn't it? I mean, look at the scale of that diversity. You can clearly see that huge arc of the Himalayas up north, the sprawling green of the plains right below, that triangular peninsular plateau forming the subcontinent's ancient core, and then the coastal plains wrapping around the entire southern half. It's like a whole world of geography in just one picture.
So that's the big question, right? How did all of this happen in one place? Well, the answer is in its absolutely dramatic geological history. We're talking continental collisions, ancient stable rock, and the non-stop work of rivers and wind. Every region we're about to visit tells one part of this epic story.
All right, let's head to our first stop, and you really can't miss it on the map, the mighty Himalayas, the great northern wall of the subcontinent. Just look at this immense sweep of mountains. You know, these aren't just peaks. They are a massive natural barrier that separates the subcontinent from Central Asia. They're the source of India's life-giving rivers, and they're a huge climate regulator. Think of them like a giant wall that does two things. It blocks the freezing cold winds from Siberia, which is why India's winters are relatively mild, and it traps the monsoon clouds coming in from the ocean, forcing them to drop all their rain right here. And here's something you've got to remember. This isn't just one solid wall of rock. Oh no, the Himalayas are a super complex system of folded mountain ranges. They're geologically young, which means they're actually still rising. And that constant pushing up is what gives them their classic sharp peaks and deep valleys. This is a dynamic, living mountain range. And if you really want to get a sense of the scale, just let this number sink in. From west to east, that main Himalayan range stretches for a whopping 2,500 kilometers. That is a truly massive mountain system. Okay, coming down from those outer foothills, we land in the huge, flat, and unbelievably fertile heartland of India, a region built entirely by the very rivers that start in the mountains we just left. Now, this geography gives us a really neat term called a doab. Do means two, and ab means water. So it's the piece of land that lies between two rivers. And because it's made of all that rich stuff the rivers drop, it's some of the most fertile farmland you can find anywhere on the planet. The whole Punjab region, for instance, gets its name from 5 waters, basically a land of many doabs. But get this, not all of this soil that the rivers deposit, what we call alluvium, is the same. Think of it like a river's terrace. The higher, older terrace is called Bangar. It's further away from the river, so it doesn't get flooded every year. But the lower, younger terrace, the Kadar, gets a fresh, nutrient-rich layer of new soil every single year. It's like nature's own self-renewing fertilizer, which makes it incredibly fertile for farming. All right, let's head south. We're leaving the young plains behind and stepping onto the ancient, stable heart of the subcontinent, the huge peninsular plateau. Now, this place is the total opposite of the Himalayas. While the Himalayas are young and still growing, this plateau is a super old, rigid block of ancient rock. We're talking rock that formed from cooled magma, which makes it really hard and packed with minerals. It's one of the oldest landmasses on Earth, basically a treasure chest, a massive storehouse of minerals that have been so important for India's industry. So the edges of this giant plateau are marked by 2 different mountain ranges, the Ghats. On the west, you have the Western Ghats, which are like a continuous, high wall running down the coast. But on the Eastern Ghats are totally different. They're lower, they're broken up, and they're cut through by all the big rivers like the Godavari and Krishna that flow from west to east and empty into the Bay of Bengal. So here's the key takeaway. While the Himalayas have the tallest peaks in the world, the highest peaks in peninsular India are found right here in the Western Ghats, with Anamudi being the tallest of them all. All right, let's explore the edges of the subcontinent now, the really unique and diverse landscapes that frame the whole thing. Over in the west, you've got the Great Indian Desert, or Marustali. It's a dry landscape of shifting sand dunes and cool-looking mushroom rocks, all shaped by the wind. It gets almost no rain. In fact, its largest river, the Luni, is what they call ephemeral. It's literally a ghost river that only shows up during the short monsoon season before it just disappears back into the sand. Now, if we jump to the southwestern coast, it's like a different planet. The Malabar coast is famous for its khayals, or backwaters. This is this amazing calm network of lagoons and lakes that run parallel to the ocean, and they're so important for local life. Everything from fishing to those famous snake boat races. And for our last stop on the periphery, we're heading out to sea. India has two major island groups, sitting in two different seas. On your left, you have the Lakshadweep in the Arabian Sea, and on the right, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands in the Bay of Bengal, and they could not be more different. And this just spells out how different they are. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands are basically the peaks of a mountain range that's mostly underwater. They even have India's only active volcano. The Lakshadweep Islands, they're not volcanic at all. They are built entirely from coral, the collected skeletons of tiny little sea creatures called polyps. One group born from fire and earth, the other built by life itself. How cool is that? Okay, let's bring it all home. In our final section, we're going to see how all these incredibly different regions don't just exist next to each other, but how they actually work together, creating this amazing synergy that makes India so rich in natural resources. And this is where it all clicks into place. It's almost like a perfectly designed system. The mountains provide the water and forests. That water then flows down and creates the northern plains, which become the country's granary. The ancient plateau sitting underneath it all holds the mineral wealth for industry. And then, wrapping around the whole thing, the coasts and islands provide access to the sea for fishing and trade. See? No single region has it all. They all depend on each other. They're all connected. So this incredible physical diversity has shaped India's entire history, right? It's provided massive opportunities, but also some really unique challenges. And that constant dance between this ancient geology and the country's future development, well, it leaves us with a pretty fascinating final thought. How is this exact same landscape going to continue to shape India's path forward in the 21st century?